Hello, welcome back to the Deep 404. We have to ask the question, has President Erdogan of Turkey done a deal with the devil? President Erdogan has made a statement, which I'll just read to you here, about the Jihadi Advance towards Damascus, capital of Syria. President Erdogan has said, Idlib, Hama, Homs, and of course, the ultimate target is Damascus. The opposition's march continues. Our hope is that this march in Syria proceeds without any accidents or troubles. Now, the forces that President Erdogan is speaking about there are HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, Syrian jihadist and Turkish-backed mercenary forces. As of this recording here, there were reports that these opposition forces had entered Daraya, about 5 miles from the centre of Damascus. East of Damascus, members of the Free Syrian Army have taken control over the ancient city of Palmyra. These rebel and Turkish-backed forces have made dramatic progress and gains over the last week and a half or so. Up until now, Turkey's position has not been one of direct support, but Erdogan making this statement now seems to indicate that that is now his position. Is this a major mistake that he has made, or is there some reason for this? And I think there might be some reason. There is and has been talk of, for about the last 10 or so years, of a Qatar to Turkey pipeline, a gas pipeline. I'll just go to the screen here. This Qatar-Turkey pipeline was a proposal to build a natural gas pipeline from the Iranian-Qatari South Pars North Dome gas condensate field towards Turkey, where it would connect with the Nabucco pipeline to supply European customers. One proposed route to Turkey was via Saudi Arabia, Jordan and Syria. And so this on the screen here, we can see that this is from Qatar going through Saudi Arabia up through Syria and Turkey. There was another route which was proposed, which would have seen a pipeline going from Iran and Iraq through Syria instead. Now, some political scientists and journalists suggest that the Syrian war was influenced by CIA operations due to Syria's rejection of the proposed pipeline that we can see on the screen, the Qatar-Turkey one, in favour and support of the Iran-Iraq-Syria pipeline. The pipeline would ultimately terminate in Bulgaria, where if we just on the screen have a look here, interestingly enough, we see information here from Bulgarian website of a European Union co-financed plan to develop a regional gas hub in Bulgaria. So this gas hub, if created in Bulgaria, would see the supply, and if this pipeline was put in place, would see the supply of gas from Qatar through Syria, through Turkey, and from Turkey onto Bulgaria, and then from Bulgaria on to supply Europe. Now, the problem with this is that this decision by President Erdogan to openly support the rebels who are fighting against the Syrian leadership of Bashar al-Assad is that Russia is on the side of al-Assad and has supported Syria over the last 10 years and through the Syrian war. In 2019, there was a Memo of Understanding which was signed by President Erdogan and President Putin. There are about 10 or 11 points in this Memorandum of Understanding, and I will just read out a couple of the key ones here. Point 1, the two sides here being Turkey and Russia. The two sides reiterate their commitment to the preservation of the political unity and territorial integrity of Syria. Point 2, they emphasise their determination to combat terrorism in all forms and manifestations and to disrupt separatist agendas in the Syrian territory. Point 4, both sides reaffirmed the importance of the Adana Agreement. Now, the Adana Agreement, this was an agreement signed between Syria and Turkey in 1998 that was done to try to diffuse tension that was going on. The tension primarily due to the fact that in the 1990s, the Turkish government decided to build an enormous dam system on the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, which start in eastern Turkey and flow into Syria. They end up in Iraq. This was going to threaten water flow to Syria and endanger its agricultural regions and prospects for agriculture. So in response to that, the Syrian government increased their support for a Syrian-based Kurdish separatist group, the PKK, or the Kurdistan Workers' Party, which the Turkish consider to be a terrorist organisation. So there was an agreement signed in 1998 which would diffuse the tensions there, and this 2019 Memo of Understanding between Russia and Turkey, point 4, both sides reaffirmed the importance of the Adana Agreement. The Russian Federation will facilitate the implementation of the Adana Agreement in the current circumstances. And then point 7, both sides will take necessary measures to prevent infiltrations of terrorist elements. So what we can see here is that Turkey may have made a decision to side with the West. There may have been an offer of a renewal of the development of the Qatar-Turkey pipeline, which would, of course, would be beneficial to Turkey. However, this is a huge gamble on Erdogan's part because this decision won't be forgotten by Putin, and it has put Turkey at odds with Russia. And I think it would be fair to say that the Russians would feel deceived and betrayed by this activity. A lot of people have spoken, and let's just get back to to a map here. Oh, sorry, I've lost my monitor. Give me one moment. Russia and Turkey obviously have a complicated relationship. They where's our map? For this reason here, I actually might step out a little bit. We can see a little more. Where are we? Here we go. Sorry. Okay, so this is the Black Sea. This is Russia in the top right of the screen, and this is Turkey here. And most importantly, connecting the Black Sea through this land bridge here of Istanbul is the Bosphorus, and then you go through the Dardanelles here into the Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean. I have another image here. So this is the Black Sea. Here we have in red the Bosphorus, the Sea of Marmara, and then through the Dardanelles to the Aegean Sea and then onto the Mediterranean. So the strategic importance of these two water pathways are massive to Russia, as they allow Russia's Black Sea fleet access to the Mediterranean and the rest of the world. So the idea, which has been bandied around by many European leaders, that Putin wants to conquer Ukraine and then go on to conquer Poland and the rest of Europe and eventually gobble up the UK, is nonsense. There is no evidence whatsoever that anyone has been able to present which shows any sort of thinking of Putin to want to do that. We can put that aside. However, Turkey's recent decision, or President Erdogan's comments indicating a new position in terms of their support for the rebels in Syria. This conflict in Syria now has drawn Russian forces from Ukraine to go and support the Syrian government. So this is a pain in the neck for Russia. The importance of the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles can't be underestimated, and I think that it may be possible that President Putin is now starting to think, I've never wanted to take Europe. I don't want to take Europe, but I would not mind having control over the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles, just so that Erdogan can't do something stupid and block our access to the Black Sea. I'm not suggesting that's something that President Erdogan is going to do now, but it's something that he could do. He holds the control over these two strategic points, which, at any stage, if he were to say, no, there's no access through the Bosphorus or there's no access through the Dardanelles, any Russian warships that are outside the Black Sea at that time now have no way to return to the Black Sea. Any Russian warships or submarines within the Black Sea have no way of getting out. So you can see how this could become a very tense geopolitical position, a location. And I just wonder, has President Erdogan taken a huge gamble here that the Israelis and the United States will be dominant in the Middle East and this conflict with Syria, and Syria will fall into Turkish-friendly leadership, and that pipeline might go ahead? I guess if he's bet wrong, then he's going to have to deal with Russia and what Russia might have to say about it. All right, I'll leave that one here for now. I hope you're having a good weekend, and I'll speak to you again soon.